Mason or what you know, and we're here, and we're live, and we're direct, and we're ready.
And we're in. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Doing good. Doing. Oh wow. Okay.
Okay, because I got really excited.
That's the mood you're in.
I mean, that's the mood that I'm in, and I'm really excited to be in that mood because I wasn't in that mood all day. But we'll talk about that during the segment. But yeah, whenever you're ready, just hit it, Nathan.
All right, let's go to work.
Now I'm hungry as hell. You talking to that?
Yeah, and we are back with another one. What's up, family? As always, it's your new favorite podcast and me, your favorite Mason. And as always, go ahead.
You already know it's your girl, Kori Deez, aka Lemon Squeeze, aka the Wholesome Hole, aka the Vessel, aka a whole lot of AKAs in this mother for ya. I'm direct with another Hush Your Mouth family member back again for the second time. We have Kori. Okay,
Long round of applause. Long round of applause.
Today, we're talking about soul ties today, which
we got a doozy.
We got a doozy. This is one of those ones that
I've never said the word doozy before, but I've been dying to say it. So, doozy. Doozy.
This is one of those ones that's like, it's deep, but we ain't know how deep. And I'm going to say pause for you, Mason. Sometimes, it gets a little crazy. Yeah, we just want to go through our regular thank yous. Thank you for everyone who joins in on Hush Your Mouth every Tuesday and every Thursday, weekly. Thank you to the people who listen to us on Spotify, Facebook. If you guys are new, you guys like to comment and want to be engaged in our conversation, then please sign into your YouTube. Please. I think the only way to be on Facebook is to be signed in. However, the way you can look at us on Team Mason TV, on Facebook and on YouTube, you just sign into your YouTube and you comment. You come here to Hush Your Mouth ENT and you'll be a part of the show. It's a great thing. Thank you guys. We love you here on Hush Your Mouth.
Shout out to y'all.
Shout out to
and man, Tuesday. Woo, Tuesday. Woo, Tuesday. Red flagging.
The past 3 episodes have been so toxic that I'm just like, I think I had to let some of that toxicity go because we've been up on this show for the past 3 weeks.
I was in shock. I was in shock for a lot of these comments telling me to go out there and whore myself over the weekend 2 weeks ago. I was like, men don't have value, but I'll sell it. See, that ties right into today's topic. We talk about soul ties now. I definitely have some questions because I can't do both. I can't do both.
You know what?
I gotta pick a side.
I actually thought it was great that we having this episode right after those real toxic ass episodes that we have because we need some cleansing in our life.
We need the cleansing,
y'all. So cleansing, this energy lifting, this vibrations, this healing, and this understanding that we're about to go into with this episode. Let's do our mental health check-in. Kori, Royal Roots, welcome back.
Thank you.
How's your mental health since the last time we seen you? I know you were sick.
My gosh. Yes. Oh, baby, the struggle. And I am back and refreshed. I feel like that helped me purge out and release a whole bunch of toxins and all that was happening. So I'm feeling refreshed. I actually feel amazing. If everybody follows planetary stuff, Mercury retrograde, I feel like was ratchet. It was a lot of ratchet stuff going on. And now the light is coming up.
That explains it.
Everything is clearer. Yes. There we go. It was crazy. It was really crazy.
This is why that man was saying, let's have 7 women.
Woo! Whoa.
Nah, that's my guy. 7 women.
Oh man, again, to each his own. To each his own. We not gonna judge here. There's a judgment-free zone. But yes, it was
I'm all
crazy,
for the
and
kinks
we
and
are all seeing the light right now. So I'm saying,
I love that. It was a great conversation.
I love it.
Great conversation.
You know what? Sometimes people life need a little ratchet. Sometimes people need to purge. People need to purge all of that energy and that stuff.
That part.
It comes a time and place that you have to do that. So
definitely.
So congrats to you for being able to.
You have to.
I want to purge. I think I was purging like a couple of weeks actually before the retrograde actually started because I was like detoxing. Remember, I was detoxing. I was saying I was like anything. And so it's necessary.
Sweet.
It's necessary. How's your mental health?
Oh, wonderful. I'm doing great. Did a manicure pedicure thing yesterday. I took a little poll. I was interested to know how many women or what women thought about manicures and pedicures, and overwhelmingly, I think I had like 30 to 40 people answer, and one person mistakenly hit the wrong button, so it threw off the score a little bit. But everybody basically was for manicures and pedicures. So fellas, women are highly, and when I tell you in the comments, just let me know, like, that is a must. That's something that they really enjoy. So make sure you guys get your nails cut. You don't got to go crazy. I ain't saying put pink and purple nail polish on. I'm not saying gel. I'm not saying do anything extra, but get your nails done. Get your nails cleaned out, get your toes done, scrub the little stuff off the bottom. It feels good, feels great. It's relaxing. Yes. And Ming Lee does a great job. So shout out to her. Definitely.
I'm done.
It is.
Okay.
Honestly, I think she just says that as a name because it's easier to remember. Because I don't think like the guy, his name is George, and then it's like Ming Lee. I'm like, this is very interesting. So I don't know. Some people just change their names just to make it like that. Right. But anyway, relaxing day yesterday, did all of that. It's good for my soul, and I was just curious, so I did a little poll. But yeah.
No, it was the way that you told me in the text messages that you were going to. You was like, no, I gotta get to the salon. I was playing with your time a little bit.
I was. You know what's funny? I made the appointment that morning because you hit me up and you was like 12 o'clock. And when you said 12 o'clock, I was like, all right, cool. I'll do that at 12 o'clock. So then I'll go right after that. So I didn't even make the appointment until then.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry because I definitely did hit you up after a really good drunk Tuesday on Hush Your Mouth. And I was like, are we still on? Because I knew that we had made an appointment during our drunkenness. And I was like, meeting at 12, right, Mace? And you were like, yeah. I was like, okay. And I wasn't even there. I wasn't present. He was like, oh, I got to go to the next line. And I was like, my man is always on his top of his game for his self-care. He does not play about them feet and them nails. So you know what? That's love. That's love.
That is love. 100% love.
Definitely.
Keep it going.
So how you doing? What's going on? What happened in the one day I haven't seen you?
In the one day that you haven't seen me, I had a lot of highs and lows. More lows than highs, I guess. I don't know. I think I'm getting crazy. You know me. I'm like always up in the middle of the night, working on something, being a creative. Us creatives, pray for us. People that have creative spirits, we go through so much and people don't even know it. And we're good at hiding it. Then I learned today that I'm an enneagram number 8. That's like some other stuff. I sent you the quiz, Mason. I want you to take it and send it to me.
No, so I took it. I took it and paid $19.95 to get the full result.
For it?
Got real fast.
I got the full results.
Well, I want to see
it's like 32 pages.
I want to see it. But
what site is this?
I'll send it to you, Corinne.
Okay.
But what was your number? What's your number come out to be?
I don't remember what the number was, but I'm ambitious is my thing.
Maybe number 4. Maybe number 4.
Oh, I could go get it. Like y'all could talk while I go get it.
I want to know what the number is because nobody told you to pay for that. And
that is crazy.
Like I said, take the test. I didn't actual like directives after, like
right.
Screenshot the number so I can look it up and we can find the answers.
But you know what? Some of those sites do get you and make you think like, damn, okay, I do got to pay for this to get this. But he probably didn't even really like look at it and see like, oh shit, I could just put my email in and get the. But hold on, time out. You're Aries too, no?
Yes.
This is also why your energy has been crazy. The full moon was in Aries, so we're all struggling with sleep. We all over the freaking place, highs and lows, dips and but like serious like swings and like. So yeah, we're all feeling it.
So this morning, Corinne, I actually woke up and I was like not available at all. Like I was just like
right.
Like I was like closed off. You
checked out.
I had these Meek Mill braids in under this wig. I had no eyelashes on, no eyebrows. I was not like in my spirit today. And
right.
Until about 5 p.m. that I was like, no, I have people counting on me. I need to get in here and get myself together. Babe said, let's go out for some drinks and some shots real quick. And I said, I don't want to be drunk on shots.
You know, I'm celebrating shots.
So, that's what happened. It lifted up my mood. It got me really ready to do this. I was actually doing these cue cards. Mason knows when I got the cue cards.
It's on.
At the bar for happy hour. So that was fun.
Sweet. Very nice. Very nice.
Before we jump into our topic, what's your how do you say it, Corinne? Enneagram?
Yes.
Okay, Enneagram number.
Mm-hmm.
This is funny because this is my lucky number, so it's 3.
Interesting.
It's funny because side panel is a 3. Side panel is also 3.
And you're always mad at us because we on the same page.
That was the guy with the 7.
Oh no!
This is somebody totally different. Okay. I was like, all right.
Oh no, that's not the connection.
I don't think we on the same page. That's my man though.
Okay.
No, side panels. You know my fiance side panel.
Okay.
A lot of our stuff here on Hush Your Mouth, but definitely a number 3. I'm like, okay, it makes sense now. Okay. Corinne, what's your number? Do you know it? What's the hint?
My number is I'm sorry, it depends on which number, but for that particular number, it may either be a 5 or a 9. I forget which one it was.
I think you're more of a 9. You're giving me more 9 vibes because we're like this. We're here.
I can see that.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Let's
see that.
Into this. So today we're talking about soul ties. And when I mentioned this topic to anybody that I mentioned it to, they were like, ooh, soul ties, that's deep. But then there's a lot of people who really don't know how deep this soul tie stuff goes. And that is what we're here to bring to y'all today. Okay? We got a good 10 questions. Let's just jump right into it. What is a soul tie and how are they created? Mason.
So I'm absolutely new to this entire thing. So I'm not going to even pretend that I know everything or, as a matter of fact, anything about this. So I'm here to learn and ask a bunch of questions because it's very interesting. And the little research, I didn't want to do too much research, but I wanted to do a little bit of research and just taking a lot of the information and ask questions and be in the moment as I learn. So soul ties, from what I looked up, was some sort of connection. And it can be with friends. It could be with different things. Relationships is the most common one that everyone gravitates towards, but there's soul ties within different realms of relationships, basically. So, how are they created? Again, the most popular one is the relationship ones. And it's believed that it's created during intercourse, sex, fucking, whatever you want to say.
Oh, wow.
It's 13 minutes. We could curse.
We're 13 minutes. That's the sign that says we can do this. How you want to do it. You got real quick. I wasn't ready for that one.
Yeah, but that's how they're apparently created, and the exchange of energies and fluids and all that stuff. Fluids. See, I kept the professional on that one. Fluids. The exchange of all that stuff is basically when those ties are created. I didn't go deep into how they could be broken and stuff like that, but I guess we'll get into that and I'll ask those questions as we keep going.
Okay, that's good. I'm gonna applaud you myself for even looking into it because when we first started talking about it, you got a little scared when we talking about it.
Nah, remember when we first it was all kinds of things. We went into like being held down in bed and all
which is so far from that. Like this one little segment of that, which is so crazy, right?
No.
And that's where most people's understanding stop at, which is interesting.
So I'm always curious, but that was just like, what? I've never
So I'm
heard of this. What is this?
I believe that soul ties have two parts. Being raised under like Christianity and stuff like that, I have an understanding from a biblical point of view, right? And then I have the understanding from a spiritual point of view. And people tend to mix the two up. And I personally, I lean more towards the spiritual point of view. So for me, it is a relentless attachment and connection to a person or things, right? It could be a job, it could be a business, it could be a friendship, and it can be a sex type of relationship, because sexual ties are the most common ways that soul ties are created, but it's not the only way. Romantic relationships are not the only way that soul ties are created. And soul ties are not always negative. So people got to know that too. But I'm going to let Corinne take it away on that. So, Corinne, what are soul ties and how are they created?
It's beautiful. First of all, Mason, thank you for saying that. From coming off like I don't really know too much about this, but here's what I did, and that's a beautiful place to start. Because we're all here to learn, right? So this is beautiful. And Corinne, also just to piggyback what you said, a lot of people's understanding of this is something very negative, or it's just relationship and intimate wise. But there's so many other ways that soul ties can be created. So it's that unexplainable bond that you have towards a person, place, or thing, and you can't necessarily put a name or a title on it, but you know that you have this underlying connection, right? They can be created, yes, through a lot of the fluids that you may share, but also it could be a thought. It could actually be somebody writing something out. It could also look like something that is spoken out loud. So sometimes even the programming, and a lot of it is past stuff. A lot of it is ancestral. It could be your own past life. But in this own life right here, we're also sometimes on a daily creating our own soul ties for ourselves and for our children. So this is why it's really important for you to watch what you're saying to people and to your children too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And people don't know that you have soul ties to like because you said ancestral, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have direct soul ties automatically to your parents, to your sisters, to your brothers, to your cousins. So think about how many soul ties you carry with you on a regular basis outside of just sex or romantically, right? That's real deep. It gets real crazy. It gets crazy in there.
Mm-hmm.
So absolutely. So they're created through many of ways. Interactions and just I think what we really need to hone in on is it's the energy exchange in itself. Soul ties themselves are created through the exchange of energies, period.
So I want to even elaborate and add on that too, that especially let's say a mother having a child, right? People see it as the physical umbilical cord is being cut. But with this exchange of energy, you also create an energetic cord between you and these other people, which also sometimes need to be severed, right? And this is why people come back into your life at different times. We'll talk about that another time. But you create every time you have, let's do it. Every time you have an emotional bond with somebody, you create this energetic tie between them, right? So this is why sometimes even after you break up with someone, you're finding yourself still emotionally troubled by things that they have done to you, traumatic experiences, Mercury retrograde. People are like, damn, this person called me from 10 years ago. Why? Because you still have an energetic connection with them that you need to cut if you do not like it. So people need to stop thinking about it just in terms of like, I cut the umbilical cord for my mom. Now we're separated. No, you actually still have a serious tie to them, whether your mom raised you or not, or same thing with a male for a father. Whether the father's around or not, they still have a tie, that energetic cord that's connecting them to their child or children.
You said Mercury retrograde. Like what is that exactly? Because that's a term that's thrown around now a lot.
It's thrown around a whole lot.
I don't really know what it is, and I'm not ashamed to say I don't know what it is. But I blame it for a lot of things, though. I'd be like, I'm going crazy today. Oh, Mercury retrograde.
That's totally fine. So it happens a few times a year, So here's the funny thing with planners, everybody likes, it looks really wonky. That's crazy. But what's funny is people realize, okay, if I go out in the sun, I know I feel recharged. I feel better. But what happens with the other planets? You know what I'm saying? The planets were arranged a certain way at the time of your birth. And because of this, it's going to affect your reactions or your interactions during that time. So Mercury is a planet that leads communication, and retrograde means that it looks like it has slowed down. So what happens during this time, and it usually is retrograde for a few weeks, communications could be off, whether it's you and your partner, now you're arguing more, or you can't get your words out more effectively. Your laptop may be broken. Suddenly electronics are not working. Your phones are breaking, all these things, car crashes. It just seemed like a lot more chaos.
That was happening to us the last 2 weeks.
This was happening for weeks. Exactly. This was happening
the last 2 weeks. We had technical issues that we had never had before.
There you go. And this was a really intense. That's why I said this Mercury retrograde was ratchet, because usually it don't feel this way. But it was a lot of other planetary stuff going on that really made it feel super intense. And so it was important to try to keep yourself like balanced and grounded during that time. But that's Mercury retrograde. And so depending on where that was,
it's coming up so I could be prepared for the outages.
Look it up. You can type it in, like, when's the next Mercury retrograde, because it does happen a couple times a year, and it will be here present that way for a few weeks. So if you know when it's coming, you can at least set your mind up to know, okay, I need to either avoid these people or look out for these things so that I'm not going down that same path of chaos as everybody else.
And you know what's so funny about this retrograde? I'm like a person that's usually very spiritual and into my like crystals and into the moon and praying during the moon. You know, phases when it's full, and doing a lot of self-work and healing and breaking curses and things like that. I think I'm a little witchy there. I don't want people to get a little bit deterred when they hear that, because that's just what they connected to, right? But really, it's what we're supposed to be doing. But I'm just going to let people have that. I don't even want to get too much into that, because that's another conversation for another day. However, I wasn't prepared for this retrograde.
Yeah.
So when people start popping up, because I would have put my phone on, I would have put my fucking phone on Do Not Disturb. That shit was not once. They said you would have been the only person you would have to connect me through side piano.
Wow.
You're the only person that could get to me, and then our guests that we have here on our show, business purposes only. Don't fucking call me, because you involved in retrograde.
Yep.
I don't want it. I don't want it. It's not very good looking.
Yep.
Not very good looking. So I don't know. But okay. So next time, let's send out a calendar for Hush Your Mouth audience about when the retrogrades do happen.
Yes.
So Chanel Marrow at 8:38 says, "Wow, I was experiencing something similar to what you described about the energy between certain family. I want you to elaborate more about that in the comments, because I'm not really sure exactly what you mean and what you were experiencing, but we want to jump into it here on Hush Your Mouth." So question number 2, can even the act of kissing create soul ties? I say yes, because it's still an energy exchange. So you ever watch those cartoons or them animations of like when the two people kiss, or think about the stories about the princesses and the princes and how they heal after like the kiss has happened, right? That's like the animated world letting you know like there's something more here, there's underlying things going on here, and especially in like, you know, cartoons and stuff. I don't know, I don't watch them. I got kids, but you know.
They watch it by themselves.
I think kisses can create soul ties. Mason, do you think kisses can create soul ties now that you're learning about them? Like, are you?
As I learned.
Wait a minute. You're very aware of who you have sex with, but are you aware of who you have sex? So who you kissing? Because I be like, this is intimate as fuck. Like, I don't want to swap you. I don't want to swap energies. I don't want to do anything.
On the totem pole of intimacy, I don't think kissing is as high as sex.
Oh my god, I do.
So I just don't physically think it's the same thing. I think it's more emotional. I think, you know, there's the peck on the cheek, you know, with my Spanish friends, it's a peck on the cheek.
Cultural.
That's kissing, and that's cultural, and that's always usually a positive thing. Like it's more like good energy. There's the, you know, pecks on the mouth type of thing with people that you're probably a little bit intimate with, and those are like, you know, And then, you know, there's the wild Caucasian people that kiss outside in mosh pits and things like that. And I think that they're exchanging soul ties and energies and things like that. So I mean, like, yeah. So I definitely believe. I say all that to say yes.
Yes. Okay, Kori, tell me how even the act of kissing, or you can elaborate a little further on
You know, I want to say yes and no with that. And no, because as Mason said, it's a very cultural thing for some people, right? And I feel like a lot of the things, spirituality comes from your intention and your energy behind everything, right? So even if you're tap kissing somebody, are you tap kissing them to be like, oh, should this gonna be my partner forever? Or you tongue kissing them with passion and now everything is hot and fiery? Because I feel like then now you have locked in with somebody. But if you pick, you know, oh, kiss her there, you know, here, kiss this person real quick. No, I'm not kissing you for 2 seconds. And then suddenly now we locked in for life. That's not, I don't think that's how that goes, from my understanding at least.
Yeah, no, I don't think either, me either. Like when I say kissing and it's intimate, I mean like, you know, during my dating phases and when I was a hoe, like, you know, you meet them guys, like, oh, give me a kiss. No, nigga, I don't want to kiss you because I don't know.
I've never said give me a kiss to a stranger in my life.
I was been a lot of guys do that, but I've always been very funny with fluid. So I wasn't somebody just out here like, boom, let's do it. A piece of me is very germophobic. That's like, ooh, I don't know where you been at. Like, ooh, no,
give me a kiss, give me a hug. People are just weird to me.
Too much.
Give me a kiss, give me a hug. I'm usually
for too much.
For me, it usually comes towards like it's never like
right.
I'm a hugger too, but I don't say give me a hug. Like I've never like. I don't really say like
giving a hug sounds really demanding. I don't like it.
Yeah, like that's weird to me.
It's receiving your hug.
Yeah.
Like when you go into a room, when people come in and they're greeting me, or I go into somewhere and it's like family or like friends and you invite me, I'm giving everybody in the room hugs because I'm a hugger. That lets you know that your energy is welcome, my energy is welcoming. We're both receiving the same type of thing. Now, I'm not gonna be like, oh, give me a kiss. Now you my Spanish friends, I'm coming in, I'm like,
Right.
Yeah.
That's where we're at, but
yeah,
you know, the kiss is also, you know, as you said with the animated movies of like, you know, kiss to seal everything. You know, spiritually, a lot of people who do spiritual works, they seal a lot of things with the kiss, with other fluids, and so in that case, yes, it can be very soul tying. But also, the purest form of that is when your child, people forget, like they think this energy thing is taboo, but like your child gets a boo boo. Who's kissing it? And suddenly the kid is like, I feel better. But yeah, that's you sending that energy of love. You know what I'm saying? Your intention behind that is to make this child feel better. So that intention again behind that interaction is what's gonna lock it in.
I thought that was.
Did you guys hear about the woman that killed the couple because they wouldn't give her a kiss?
What?
This is an actual story. I was gonna put it in.
When did that happen? Please don't tell me that was Mercury retrograde nonsense. Please don't tell me
that was this week. That was earlier this week. She literally. So she's basically staying with this couple, and I think that she asked the guy for a kiss first, but the guy has a girlfriend. The girlfriend's right there, so he's like, no, you know, I'm not gonna give you a kiss. So then she tries to kiss the girl. Girl's like, no, I'm not gonna give you a kiss, and she ends up killing both of them. I'll send you the link.
Wow, mental health is real.
Yep.
Mental health is very real, guys. And we need to pray for our mentally ill people.
Please.
She wanted a soul tie that was not wanted.
Crazy. All right, before we go to our next question, Chanel Marrow has returned and she has said, I was having a conversation with someone about how certain people in my life, I can feel the closeness like in my body. It's hard to describe. It's like when people say, you feel me? Certain people I do. Mothers experience with their children is that a soul tie? Absolutely, but I'm gonna let Corinne speak more about that.
Absolutely. There's certain people who you come here. So let's just start with this, right? And this may be going into another question, so I'm not going to go into it too deeply, but you do have a soul family, right? These are the people who you mesh with automatically. And it's like, this is unspoken. This is my brother from another mother, sister from another mister, where you don't even have to say like, this is my family. It just feels that way. But then you also have blood family who you can also show up here with and who were in another past life together. For example, I have a birthmark on my neck that 4 or 5 of my sisters have. My mom, my grandmother, some cousins, we all showed up from a whole nother past life together. So there's certain things you can look at, certain features, certain actions that you can look at to know, oh, this is my people right here, with no questions asked, because these people are vibrating at the same frequency as you, right? And the more you maintain that frequency, you're going to also continue to attract people to that same wavelength, which is why you then meet friends who are like, oh, this is my sister. You know, we've been friends for years, but you just met this person maybe, last year, but it just feels like you have known each other for eternity. So that's just that natural bond that you will have with certain people, because that familiarity, like, yeah, that's not fake. There's no coincidence or damn, how did I get here? That spirit and your higher self, typically, and their higher self, that has guided you back to that moment together.
Absolutely. No.
Well said.
And I have a lot of, so that brings us to our next, because this is going to be long, but okay. What are the different types of soul ties and how many? So I'm gonna go first because I got 12. And, so I got 12.
I have 4.
You have 4. You go first. You go first, and then I'll go second.
All right. So it was the relationship with like a partner. There was friendship. There was the work relationship, and there was one more. I didn't write it down, but those were the 3 that I remember, and then there was one more when I Googled it.
Okay, well, I have.
Now you go with your list. Let me know if any of those are on there.
All right, so I don't know if Karen want to write this down so she can know what I'm saying.
Yep, that's why I got my pen right here. Here we go.
All right, so we got soul connections, because people confuse soul connections with soulmates and soul ties, and they're completely different. So we have soul connections, we have soul partners, we have soul ties, we have past life soulmates, we have karmic souls, romantic soul ties, twin flames, companion soulmates, and soul families or soul groups, and kindred spirits. We have soul contracts and soul teachers, and then soul crossings. I got crazy with y'all real quick.
I love it.
But at one time.
Oh, while you were doing that, I just Googled it again, and it said marriage, business, sex, and friendship. So those are the 4 that I read.
They lying to you. It's so
I mean, no, yours is way more detailed and better. I like all those 12, but they kept it
you're
simple.
like, wait a minute, did I confuse my soul mate and my soul connection with my soul tie? Like, what's the difference? And you know what's so funny? Because our guest later on today, who is also our Hush Your Mouth family, she's been here a few times. She's gonna come on and she asked me this, and I was like, oh no, sister, like this is what's going on, like. So, but we're gonna let Corinne take it away. So I don't know. You want to have this conversation? You want me to tell you what I feel they are, and then you tell me?
Sure. We can do that. Yeah.
Okay. So what I have down for soul connection is like feeling or being linked in an extraordinary way, actually. And this is like the people that you feel like you've known forever. Like these are the people that you meet, and you're like, oh my God, where have you been all my life? I feel like I know you. That's a soul connection, right? Okay. Do you have anything to add to that, Corinne, or no?
Nope, that's perfect.
Okay. Soul partners. Your soul partners are your family, your best friends, your in-laws, like kind of like even like your business partner, people who your soul personally chose to experience this life with. Like you are choosing your partner, you're choosing them. Your soul chose them. Hey, I'm gonna meet you. This is where we're gonna meet at. This might be the time and space I'm in. Don't be mad at me because I might not be receiving, or I might be, or I might, whatever. The possibilities are endless. Your souls agreed to partner with this other soul. And soul partners support you and influence you to go further on your journey and your path. Okay. Soul tie, to me, like I said, it's kind of like a spiritual agreement, and it's kind of similar to soul contracts, which I didn't get into that, but it's kind of similar to that. Soul contracts and soul ties, and it's just knowing that the other soul is in your life for a reason. For me, kindred spirits. What does kindred mean? It means in the likeness of one another. You might meet a soul that is very similar to yours, that is also experiencing the same life path as yours, the same journey, and that's the connection. The connection is for you to then be able to take that person, or that person to take you to the next part of your journey. Kindred spirits. And it's very important that we don't mix them up. And let me see. Past life soulmates is the people that you say, I've never felt this way before with anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Those are those people. So there's a difference between, oh my God, I feel like I've known you forever and I've never felt this way before with anyone else. And the funny thing about past life soulmates is that, okay, so I told side panel, this is when my little story time comes into play. I said, side panel, we are past life connection. She said, how do you know? And I said, because our fucking sex is amazing. Now, I'm going to say that. I knew your face was going to look like that. I knew that.
All right, Emily.
So I was like, I knew that our past soul life connection was great when so for the people who don't know, I am in a relationship with a woman, right? I always say that every episode because this is where my experience is coming from currently. However, I've been in relationships with men. Now, one, I haven't had the sex as great as I've had it with this person ever. So that's from a past life. The energy that we exchange, the fact that you cannot penetrate me and we can have this amazing experience with one another and exchange the energies, like you can feel the energies, like it's a little crazy. It's a little crazy. That past soulmate connection shit is a little different. But karmic soulmates are the people who are, it's a little rocky. It's rocky at times. You know what I'm saying? Like you love each other, you want to be great with each other, but the journey will not be pleasant because it's kind of like you guys are living your karma from past lifetimes. Correct, Corinne, or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to make sure.
Could be good, could be also bad. I would say that. Yeah, could be both good and bad.
So go further with that. It could be good or it could be bad. Karmic.
So most people look at karma like, oh my God, my grandfather cheated, so now everybody in this lifetime is cheating on me. Okay, that's one side of it. But you can also have very healthy karma to where it's like, and either in your past life, you were somebody who were doing very great deeds. And so in this lifetime, it just seemed like doors are opening for you left and right. These are the people who you look at and you like, damn, this person just got really good luck. Is it good luck or just good karma that this person is able to just live out in this lifetime? So it's two sides to karma. It's definitely two sides to karma. People have to remember that this is also a positive side to it.
But that's why I said some soul ties are not even like that. Some of them are
right.
Good. So
right.
You know, but a lot of people associate karmic soulmates with negativity, and I want to know why.
Yeah.
Why?
It's a lot of especially for our culture. I'm talking about melanated people. I'm talking about Caribbean people. When you speak about this spiritual work, the main way they know it is, oh, somebody put something in somebody's food. I'm saying based on the conversations I have with people. Oh, I don't touch it because somebody put something in somebody's food. We heard about somebody coming and sleeping with you at night. So it has this very dark side. And we do know that when you're dealing with energy, there is that dark side and is also that light side. So you can also create that good karma in this lifetime by doing good deeds. Every time you do something good or you move in gratitude without expecting something back, you're just putting out that good energy for you to receive it back. But when you're doing things to people and thinking it won't come back to you, yeah, it may miss you in this lifetime, but if you got kids, you should be worried. You know what I'm saying? If they're going to have children, that should be something you're worried about too, because that energy, whatever you send out there, is going to come back at some point. It's a freaking, what do they call those?
Boomerang.
Ricochet, whatever boomerang. You know what I'm saying? You send that out into the universe. If it don't come back and slap you now, it's going to hit somebody else. So that's karma.
Okay. Now, explain the difference for the people. Because I don't want to. I mean, do you have anything to say about the ones that I said, or did I categorize them correctly before I go into the next part?
No, you categorize them pretty good. There could be some overlap with some of those, so that I'm gonna let you go ahead and continue. Then we'll just like decipher a break design if we need to, if you don't get to that.
Okay, so romantic soul ties. I don't know what's the difference between like a karmic one, a past soul, and then a romantic soul tie. There's different ones.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like the twin flames, right? So twin flames, a lot of people often confuse with soulmates.
Right.
Then you can have many soulmates, again with many soul ties. But you can only have one twin flame.
So that's how this is how they will kind of lose you. Soulmates, you can have multiple soulmates in this lifetime. Soulmate is not necessarily somebody that's romantic, which is why I think they differentiate it between a romantic partner. Your soulmate could be your best friend. You know what I'm saying? This could be somebody that is just downright, that's like, oh, this person just get me. I don't have to say much. They just know it. Soulmate can be your cousin. It could be just these people that automatically click where you only have to say anything and they just automatically get it, right? The romantic side of it, I do believe you can also have multiple romantic soulmates as well. And it's interesting because they can come into your life when you're least expecting it. And so you may not even realize it. You know what I'm saying? You really may not even realize it, but these people are going to make you feel, like you said with your partner, I know I have never felt this way, whether it's sexually or just being in their presence. You're going to feel like, oh shit, am I willing to lose all my shit right now to like jump in this sea? Because this feels very different, but I want to try it out. Like, I don't care what the fuck I'm about to lose. I need to get over there and see what that's about. And people tend to hold on to those or try to chase after those because they feel like it's fleeting. I don't know if I'm going to feel like that ever again. So let me just jump on this ship while it's here. And then you mentioned another one. What was the other one you said you were confused with? Because karmic soul ties are not necessarily even romantic either. You know what I'm saying? You could have karmic soul ties with your own child. Like, people don't believe that, like, people really should start listening to their children and not just think like, oh, this kid's just having an imagination. Like, I've heard some kids tell them like, I'm your father. And I would laugh. It's funny at first to hear, but it's like, this is a 4-year-old child saying that to you. Like, he probably was your father in another lifetime. And so, we have to give our children a lot of that space as well. A lot of people don't like to hear about this, but there also is something called karmic children. You know what I'm saying? And you will see that this is people purposely doing things or having children with someone you probably weren't supposed to have children with. And what happens? The children often come out with certain ailments, right? It may come out looking like eczema. It may come out looking like asthma. There's certain things that are attached to that child because of the energy of that karmic tie you have with that person.
Wow.
Can that ever be flipped though? Can that ever be
absolutely
flipped into like you have a child like for a particular reason and that child becomes like a blessing to another for another reason?
So here's what's so funny is that I have a karmic past with my spouse right now. And I didn't know this. I fought the relationship for so long. This is somebody who was Italian. And I'm like, this is not even for me right now. This is all in my head, creating these things, all these narratives, because it's like, this don't fit the things that I want. However, looking at so many different things, it was like, this is a whole fucking karmic situation that we have. And the only way we can get out of this, like him and I already signed a soul contract in a whole nother lifetime, which is why we ended up back here doing this. And the only way for us to seal that was like to have my daughter. And I didn't even notice until after the fact. Like, but
how did you find this out though?
Meditations, when you look at numbers, so you guys are talking about those numbers, when you look at numerology and you could see how the shit adds up. It was just, you have these moments that don't make sense, but for you, your body will have these reactions of like, this completely fucking resonates. I don't give a fuck. Nobody says, I got chills, I'm crying, this is it. And you have arrived at that fucking moment. And suddenly everything starts to fucking make sense that you've gone through. And often to make sense of that, a whole level of clarity, complete level of clarity that most people won't be able to understand, but and he knows just spiritually, boom, this is exactly where we were supposed to be. And so often, complete alignment. Often you can get confirmations, and this is why the root work and knowing where you came from is so important, because if people took the time to even look at their ancestry, you will find numbers, names, dates, all these things that are like, oh shit, like I didn't just end up here for no fucking reason. And so all these
for no reason though.
There's nothing for no reason. Exactly. And so this is where people got to come from. When you get to a place of like, damn, I don't even know how that happened. Something just something is usually spirit that's leading you there. You didn't just end up there for no reason. You didn't just take that right turn instead of left today for no reason. It is your spirit and this other person's spirit that are guiding you back to this certain point for this very reason.
Oh yeah.
I'm just just wow. Are you I'm in what's the next level over like I'm just because when you hear these things your mind automatically flashes to certain situations or instances where this resonates for me because I've had that feeling or I've been in that space or I've had that connection with someone that that this now makes a lot more sense when we have this conversation. So when I'm saying wow, it's like, okay, because I'm just running my mind back to those scenarios and those people. Okay.
And that's what it should be. That's what it should be. And this is why, what was that?
Are you making connections, Mason?
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting clarity. Like I said, like I'm understanding certain things, and that's why I came in with an open mind and a just willingness to embrace the learning process. I didn't want to over research. I didn't want to over clutter my mind. I wanted to come in here with an open mind just to listen and hear and gain knowledge from something that I don't know about and just approach it that way. I didn't want to over research because I didn't want to have answers. I wanted to get the answers and ask the questions. Nice. So that's how I approached it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so before we go further, I know I had it that we would go into comments, but this is such a deep conversation and we might be at this particular question for just a few more minutes. Let's jump into our comments. Alasia baby, hey, this is mommy. Hello, mom. What's up, everyone? The topic is kissing right now. So I say yes, energy is being exchanged when you give someone a kiss, whether it's a peck or a slob down. So Mason, my mom is correcting you. Don't be
did I say something different?
Don't be out there pecking somebody. She's saying it's the same energy. When you peck somebody on the cheek, that's like when you give a girl a forehead kiss. When you kiss a girl on the forehead, that's kissing her third eye. I don't know.
I think that's different though. I feel like a kiss on the cheek is not the same as kissing you on your forehead. It's not the same as kissing you on your mouth.
No, that's not.
Yeah, if I kiss you on your forehead, that means that's a whole different level of things. If I kiss you on the cheek, it's like, hey, like you my cousin. You could be like
I agree with that.
Random friend. Like I don't like I've kissed people that like on the cheek that are like bartenders. That means nothing.
On the cheek, like
my nana.
You get your
kiss my nana on the cheek. What's?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Oh yeah, damn right. I like my nana.
I like my nana.
I like her. Gave me all the candy during the week.
Alasia also says a negative spirit can transfer to you from a touch, let alone a kiss. That is why those who are aware will not let you touch them or kiss them at all. And hence why I say kisses are intimate. I don't care if you're kissing me on my cheek. I don't care if you're trying to slap me down. I don't care if you're trying to peck me somewhere. No.
I care. Don't try to slap me down.
We know, Mason.
Make me sound so insensitive. Don't touch me. Get away from me, woman.
Your name's number 3, not Mason anymore. We know number 3. All right. So Analia says companion soulmates, soul crossing. So I think I spoke about that. I don't know if I got there yet. Did I get there? I think I
no, you didn't get to soul crossings yet. You mentioned them. You didn't go into deep. You didn't go into any detail yet with the soul crossing yet.
Well, talk about soul crossings a little bit, Kareem, because I don't remember.
So these soul crossings can be moments where you may meet somebody where you don't even know these people, right? And for whatever reason and time, you guys have crossed paths. This doesn't mean that you suddenly are now friends with them for years. It doesn't mean you even exchange numbers. These are people you have a kind of a fleeting interaction with, but then you're constantly thinking like, nah, I should have gotten this person's number. Or wait a minute, this person left a lasting impression on me. And I wish I had connected with them a little bit longer, but you don't have no damn name. You don't have no damn, let me tell you something. I remember growing up, my mom, she was going to take me to school and drop off my sister. We both had like regents that day. And for whatever reason, we were late. And then she ended up getting a flat tire on the side of this road uptown in the Bronx. And there was this road that nobody ever comes down. And we're like, oh, we're screwed. Like, I'm feeling the regents, whatever. When I say this man showed up out of nowhere and is like pulled over out of nowhere and was like, just looked and was like, didn't even say nothing, was like, just hold on, pulled everything out from his trunk. And we're like, who is this? I'm like, Ma, do you know him? Did you call him? She was like, I don't know who this man is. Just came out of nowhere. They're almost like angelic sometimes, doing angelic work sometimes. This man came out of nowhere, fixed the tire, and was like, just have a good day. And we're like, wait, let me get your information. Before we could even do that and give him money, this man drove off. Soul crossings, like you happen to be at the right place at the right time to give us what we need, and it would have been amazing if we could give you something back in return, but you came and did exactly what we need and dipped off and didn't want anything back in return. This is not necessarily something where you're like, oh yeah, we have to pour into each other. Sometimes it's somebody pouring something into you that you didn't even know you needed at that moment, and then they're just gone, but you wish it was a longer lasting interaction.
I'm gonna say give her an applause because I got chills.
Woo.
I got chills because I've had a lot of experience with soul crossings in themselves. But I want to ask you a question about what about the soul crossings that you cross that don't necessarily mean you any good? Because some of them are angelic, but some of them can be the opposite.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And this is when people say the devil was extra busy. So there is both sides to this work. Honestly, I feel like for each one of these, you can have both that white side and you can have that dark side for each one of these soul connections. And usually, sometimes if you are in alignment, you can pick up and your spirit will let you know things about like, get away from this person. Don't go to that party. Don't get in that car. Your spirit will let you know whether it's a confirmation, whether somebody called you in the middle before you go and do something. So you can catch up on it. But sometimes when we're in our own way and possibly out of alignment, you can interact with these people and don't realize that it's too late until you actually are in it.
Absolutely.
If that makes sense.
No, that makes perfect sense for me. Yeah. So Nadia says you can break soul ties too. We're going to talk about how to break these soul ties and all these ties that we're talking about. Okay, so absolutely. Eula at 857 says, wow. TX23 says, wow. We're wowing the people tonight. So I want to shout out to us and give us some motherfucking applause and a gunshot. Woo! You want to know more? That's true about the saying. Things like that have been here before. Boo Boo is one of those children for sure. This is good stuff. Amazing topic. She is clairvoyant. I mean, she sees spirits. So, okay, that's another story. This is interesting things. Me too. I got chills. Yes, that was God sending your guardian angel because God knew y'all was going to need help. Absolutely. And people have to understand
absolutely. Absolutely.
All of our spirits carry their own guardian angels. They do. That's another conversation for another day now. But
I mean, do you feel like you can be a guardian angel? You can be one of those people? Because I've had a practice and it doesn't always happen and I don't always do it. So I'm not going to make it sound like I always do it. But there's days where I go out with the intention of doing good deeds. Like I'll do a good deed for maybe somebody buying a coffee or something like that. Or if you see somebody on the street and it's cold and it's wintertime, you might want to buy them a tea or something like that. Or, just little things that mean not much to me and I don't want anything back for it, but I'll do it just because like my intentions is do something good today. And I feel like karma always comes back to you and it makes me feel good and it's good to help people and without any want of anything else. It's like, you're not going to do anything for me, mister. You're out here in the cold. You've had a rough life or you're in a rough moment. Not so much a rough life. Who knows what's happening, but you're in a rough moment and I have the means to help you out and it's not going to ruin my day to do it. So I'm intentionally doing this. So I'll do that from time to time. So is that an intentional soul cross thing? Do you think that that's for that person? It may have been the thing that got them through the next 2 hours that it could have been frostbite or something like that. Or, you know what I'm saying? They may not have had the money, but they need that coffee, or, you know what I'm saying? Things like that.
Absolutely. I think that's amazing. First of all, let me, give your own self the praise for that right there and applause, because a lot of people don't do that enough, or a lot of people think they're not in a place to be able to do that freely. This doesn't look like, I need to go buy a Thanksgiving dinner for this man on the street. A simple cup of coffee, a simple, let me pay for your groceries today. Just out of the kindness of your heart, ability to give, you now have become this angelic soul crossing for this being. And just doing that, like you said, I remember doing things for people, and then all of a sudden years later they're like, yo, you said this to me one day and it really just, I remembered it, and now I'm on the path to doing this. So a simple word, a simple good deed can go a long way. And especially the karma that you're putting out there. This is why a lot of people don't get regular abundance and a flow into their life, because they want to keep everything for themselves. This is my money. I know I don't got no chain for you. Everything in life is cyclical. The trees are giving us something, right? We're constantly taking from Mother Nature, from the earth, and not replenishing and giving anything back. And you wondering why you're not getting anything back. If you continue this habit of continuously giving freely, you're just opening up doors for more abundance and more prosperity to flow into your life, and more just blessings, I like to say, to flow into your life even more. So I think that's beautiful. And for those people, you definitely are an angel.
Yeah. And somebody told me last week, they were like, if you ever try to hold your hands, if you're holding on to money so tight that you can't receive it because you can't have your hand open.
You gotta have your
hand. She was like, if you're holding so tight, you're not able to receive, because you're closed off to the reception of things. And I was that is a fact. I was like, that makes all the sense in the world.
And you know what? I'm happy.
That's a fact.
Because you think that I just be out here just spending money frivolously.
I do.
Like, I want to buy this. I want to buy that. And he's like, why? I'm like, no, this. And he's like, but why? And if you can explain to me why. Listen, Mason is the husband that I wouldn't want to have.
You gotta explain. I'm gonna let you have it though. You just gotta tell me why you need it right now and now.
I don't like to explain myself. I'm a M something number 8. I don't like to explain myself. I just know that's what we need to do.
Side panel be on the same page though. You can't feel like side panel don't agree with me. Side
panel's gonna hand me over that card. You know what?
That's why I try to help. I try to help before it gets to that.
No. So the funny thing is,
see, but what's so funny about?
Oh, go ahead, Mom. Go
ahead. Okay, thank you. The funny thing is, since we're talking about money right now, and people, I see, so a lot of soul ties happen like before we get here, and we just have these natural connections. But a lot of them were also like, creating ourselves while we're in this lifetime, and especially when it comes to money. How you're programmed and raised can also create new soul ties for you with certain things, right? When we say soul ties are not just with people, but you can have it with things and places. So in terms of money, if you were programmed to believe growing up, oh my God, money, your mother is continuously saying to you, we don't have no money for this. Money don't grow on trees. We poor, we don't have this. Now that is a whole new soul tie that you've created with a level of abundance. So now you have an atmosphere of lack attached to you naturally, an atmosphere or a thought process, if you may, of lack. I gotta work hard to get this thing. And suddenly now you have a whole nother core that's been created because of your programming that you need to redirect in order for these things to regularly flow into your life. And so it's important. And this is why every time I say something to my daughter, I'm like, oh shit, what did I make sure I'm not fucking her up? And sometimes I get a little obsessive with it, because it's like, you really need to watch what you're saying, because the things you're speaking out, spirit will pick that up as, oh, they said that 3, 4, 20 times. That's registered. This is what it is. This is the truth that it is. And so just speaking things out continuously enough, repetitively enough, is going to create a soul tie or some sort of tie for you in this lifetime.
You know what, Corinne? I do want to applaud you. Before Mason drops the applause, I want to say I want to applaud you on the way that you parent your daughter. And I've had kids longer than you've had kids, and I think I'm a little. No, you're older than me, but maybe.
Thank you.
Or like a couple of days. We're like 2 weeks apart or something. It's really weird. We have the same name. It's really funny.
Right.
It's really funny. And so I've learned.
It's a soul tie right here. It's a soul tie within itself.
But I've learned so much from you, even in the little time that you had your daughter, in the aspect of these ties and these things that we're speaking out to our children and things like that. And I don't speak to you. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I speak to you on a regular basis. No, I don't. But the times that I do speak to you, I gain something. And if you speak to me, you gain something every time. And we learn from each other.
I appreciate that. Absolutely.
So just before we started,
absolutely.
Just before we started this particular show right now, the baby was like, you know, she was crying and stuff like that. And you're like, I love you. It's okay. I'll be right back. And I'm like, oh, I wish I could. I'm like, get what is your deal?
It's so important.
Yeah, no, it's definitely important. It's definitely important. And I applaud you for that. And I thank you for teaching me that, because I'm still learning as I go along about these how important is this energy is. Energy is really important in itself. Okay, so let's move on a little bit. So so the biggest mistaken thing that happens is between soulmate and twin flame. Let's go a little bit deeper into that real quick. Because people confuse, like they're like, oh, I found my soulmate. Okay, I found about 3 soulmates. You understand what I'm saying? But I haven't found too many.
Hello.
Okay, so we need to talk more about that. Mason, what do you think? Do you think there's a difference?
Okay, she's going.
What happened?
Do you think it's a difference between soulmates and twin flames?
Is that me going in and out, or is that Corinne's camera going in and out?
Is my camera going in and out, guys?
I think you're good. Can you hear us and see us now? We good?
I can see you. I can hear you.
Okay, so the twin flame thing is kind of new to me too. I've heard soulmate several times and twin flame, and I think we had this discussion like off air before, and I was like, twin flames, like what is that exactly? Like what does that mean? Like, and you tried to explain a little bit, but I was like, let's wait for the show, let's figure this out. But from my understanding, I have no clue what the difference is. So you can tell me and teach me, both of you guys.
Okay. Go ahead, Karen. You can go, and I'm gonna piggyback off you.
So the twin flame is, I mean, these are topics and names, terms that's been dropped now, because a lot of people are now getting more into the spirituality thing, and suddenly everybody's like, I'm chasing my twin flame. And it's like, do you know what you're getting into? Because this, again, flame, it's a hot ass relationship, and it's going to be one of the most difficult relationships to work through. This is somebody who's literally mirroring everything that you are. Some people may be like, yeah, I would love a double me. No, you really don't. This is somebody reflecting your traumas back at you, reflecting your strengths, reflecting your weaknesses, but it's going to be so trying, and it's going to take both parties to be in a place where they're like, okay, I see my faults, I see where my past has got me at. Do we really want to work through this? And it is possible, but it is such a chaotic relationship that for me, it's like, why are you even chasing that? And for some people, yes, you may need that, because you may meet this person, you know, okay, these are the areas of growth that I'm ready to work on. But a lot of people are not ready to hold themselves accountable when they, you know, meet new people and, you know, respect each other's space. Soulmate, on the other hand, is somebody who is not, you know, your reflection, but however is there to help to support you where you are in life, so you guys can help raise up each other. I met a soulmate at a point. Wasn't even supposed to be in the park where I was, and it was just too much. Like, first of all, the timing of this, I can't even indulge in this, but this is somebody who you meet, and you, again, don't have to say much, but you have this undying need, like this pull of like, why do I feel like I need to take care of you? I don't even know who the hell you are. But equally, this person is like, I want to keep you safe. I don't know what it is. I just want to pray for you all day, every day. You equally have this understanding that nobody's hiding the other one. It's not about these physical things that matter, but spiritually, you're looking to meet this person to help elevate them and make them a bigger and a fuller person. Those are the two differences.
That's the difference between a soulmate and a twin flame. I don't know if I got there, but companion soulmates, aka soulmate friends, and soul families and soul groups. Obviously, that to me is self-explanatory, but Karen, go further into that and explain that a little further, and then we can move on. Oh no, we could talk about soul contracts and the difference between soul contracts and soul ties, soul teacher, and then that's it. We can move forward.
So soul teachers, I'm going to start this since you said that last. These are people who are like mentoring you into your spiritual growth. So for me, this is my shaman, who I call my spiritual godmother. For some of you into church, this may look like the pastor. This may look like whoever it is that's helping you, teaching you things. Because in this spiritual world, there's not necessarily a book like everybody's looking for the Bible. There's not necessarily a book of like, here, go, this is the step by step. No, you need to find somebody who's older and more experienced than you to help you like walk through a lot of this, because they can help to teach you a lot of things that you may just end up unfortunately learning in the wrong way. So that's a spiritual teacher. Soul contracts I love because I like to look at them as the assignment. Everybody's dancing to the songs. Oh, I understood the assignment. Every time I hear that, I'm laughing because it's like, hey, I'm laughing because it's like, okay, you understood that assignment for that day, maybe for the week, but do you really understand your soul assignment? And that's what soul contract means to me. You're binded to something to come here and do something. Are you doing it or are you playing with that shit? And most people are so disconnected from it. They don't even know what they're supposed to be doing. You've been at your job so long. You hate your boss. You've been over here doing this so long that you're so disconnected from what your soul really wants to be doing. You poured so much water and dim your light that your flame ain't even shining bright enough. You know what I'm saying? We're light beings. You're supposed to be here shining brightly, but because you're picking up so much baggage, sometimes out of our control, you're now weighed down and you're no longer this light being. You know what I'm saying? And to get back to that is to get back on your higher self and that soul contract.
And the funny thing about the soul contract that makes me feel like I want to say better about myself, because I feel like, okay, so we all have, like, we grow up and they're like, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? And when you're too young to even understand your real life path. So all through my life, I was like, oh, I want to be a correctional officer. I want to be a police officer. I want to be some type of law enforcement. And while my personality might go well with those type of things, that's not what my soul was destined to be, because that didn't have anything to do with my journey prior to me actually taking on this, like, life. So as I got older, and Corinne, you were like one of the first people I experienced in this field. I realized, no, my journey, my path, everything in this life has set me up to be able to help at-risk youth. Why? Because my whole life I was an at-risk youth. What the hell, right? So now I can take everything that I've learned. And
I wanted to hit the gunshots for that, but I didn't think that was appropriate.
It's all right. Shoot the gunshots, Mason.
I felt that one, but I didn't want to hit the gunshots. I was like, I don't know.
Everything I've learned, I've had a really long and hard journey, and really, honestly, the journey that I've lived, I shouldn't even be where I am today. But however, I'm here. I'm here because I'm destined to be here. I'm here because I'm supposed to share my story and make it your story, and help you and help you and help you. So my life is a light always for people, because when you look at me, you don't realize what I've been through. That's real shit. So soul contracts is what you sign up for.
Shame.
Shit. I'm rising tonight, y'all.
I'm loving it.
I ain't gonna snap,
love
but
it.
So what do you feel is the deepest connection between all of these? And then I want you to jump into a little bit about soul family, souls group, and companion soulmates and soul friends and stuff like that. And just we'll move on to the next question.
I honestly feel like the strongest one is what you give the most energy towards. Which one are you giving the most intention towards, right? Because you can honestly pour love and more focus into any of these things. So it just depends on the person, right? Are you more interested in like, damn, I got to chase my soulmate, nothing else matters. I've seen people chasing people that probably weren't really for them. And in the midst of that, they're just releasing everyone else that's really been in their corner for a long time. You know what I'm saying? You out here chasing blessings that wasn't really meant for you. And so you end up being blinded in the wrong situation. And then it's too late and you're looking around like, damn, where'd everybody else go? Well, you let your soul family go because you thought they didn't really matter. So it really depends on who and what you're pouring your time into. Is it going to be your family, your soul family that you know is going to ride with you regardless? Is it going to be these karmic ties that you feel like I have to really work this through in my lifetime? It just depends where you're going to pour your energy into.
Absolutely.
Can you be intentional in pouring your energy into one direction or the other? Can you, like, even though you're physically going in one direction, and just be like, you know what, I have to correct my path, and just mentally just put yourself in a space where you're just now shifting your energy? Like, you get those realizations, and how do you just like shift it? Because once your momentum is going one way, it's kind of hard to switch it into another way.
Absolutely. And this is where to reflect, and this is why a lot of people meditate. It's so important that you're not just constantly going. This is why the rat race is terrible for a lot of people, because they don't give you enough energy and time to take this, to sit back and look at the patterns, look at where things have been going. Have I wrote down in journal, my intentions? Because if not, you're not gonna be able to look back and set goals. Have you set these goals? Have you met these goals? And sometimes people spend so much time in that race going in the momentum. They're like, damn, I didn't even really look at what was going on. And you miss things that were being brought to your door that really were for you. So it's important to stop and take that moment. So if you need to, you can redirect your energy. For a lot of us, we were talking about these numbers. Everybody has these numbers, right? And these numbers, though, will not dictate, but it'll push you towards a certain energy in this lifetime. When you look at numerology, some people are going to be geared towards a 4, right? So you're all about work and stability. So you're going to be attracting somebody possibly that is one of these workers, the soul workers or whatever, your companion that's going to help you to create more businesses in this lifetime. Perhaps your number is a number 9, you're more spiritually guided. So whoever you're paying your more attention to is going to be a soul teacher. It just depends on where you are and a lot of the numbers and things that affect individual people. And this is why it's important to have your own path and not be looking at somebody else's, because you can be throwing your own shit off trying to copy someone else's. This whole FOMO thing, that's not even meant for you. Let it go. Pay attention to your own shit. Keep your head down.
You had all the explosions.
Woo,
and that's a lot of people get confused and they be like, "Oh, this person's doing it. That might not be your journey. To be in this might not be your journey." And you gotta understand that. Like, understand that what's for you will be for you, and what is for the other person will be for that other person. And your time is gonna come, baby. Your time's gonna come. Everybody's time. I always like to say, everybody gotta run. Everybody got their run.
You gotta some know runs are short, some runs are long, some runs are.
That's real shit.
That is a fact.
People be crazy. I don't know. Them soul ties, them soul stuff. That soul stuff is deep. 12 different types. I don't know. You gotta figure out where you at in the place and know who you are in those moments.
Oh yeah.
And I'm a big fan of meditation. I've always talked to Kori about this. Like, I'm a big fan of morning meditation. I'm a big fan of setting intentions in the morning. I'm a big fan of being thankful, being grateful. And like a couple of weeks ago, like sometimes I'll post like, God is good, God's great and stuff like that. And I'll be like, for no reason. It's just no reason whatsoever. Nothing's happening. And I let people know nothing's happening, because sometimes people hear gratitude and they think, oh, it's good news. Something just happened. And it's just me being grateful for my life and me being grateful for me just being where I'm at, me being able to be like in this particular space and time, because I'm grateful for it. I'm seriously grateful for it. And when I think about it, it's like, yo, you know what? Yeah, God is good. So I'll post that and I'll be like, nothing happened. Just so y'all know. So don't hit me up saying, did you get something new? Did you buy a new house? Did you just make like another $1,000 in stocks? No, I'm just having one of those moments where I'm reflecting and I'm like, I'm blessed.
I want to say that your fellow number 3 is over here shaking her head, so she agrees with you.
See?
So I want to say that.
Shout out to side panel. Woo! I'm just saying.
I want to see it from a point of view from someone who struggles with that still. I struggle with, even though I know I'm truly blessed and highly favored, even though I know that along with my prayers, I create the world in which I live in. So I know my power. I still struggle with it on a regular basis. I have a hard time meditating because I have a hard time silencing all the people that are inside of me. And that's a real thing. There's a lot of spirits that woke with me. There's a lot of people who live inside of me. There's a lot of voices in my head. And we all got different points of views on different shit. And we just, like, you got the one bitch that's like, no, that bitch is playing with you. No, we want to be in peace and cool.
But you know that is normal. It is normal. It's normal to, when you are in silence, to break that silence with a random thought like, what am I gonna eat? Like, I wonder what that garbage truck is doing. That garbage truck is later than normal. Like, damn,
That's
why
the
does it?
fact.
And then, but the keys to bring yourself back, like what I've
Yeah.
learned and what I've read, is just it's gonna happen. It's supposed to happen, and let it happen, and then bring yourself back to centered. So that's what I've learned.
For me, the problem is that once that happens, I'm like, y'all don't got no respect. None of y'all. Like, none of y'all got no respect. I don't know which one of y'all is talking, but y'all don't got no respect because I'm trying to really, like, you know, get a little.
But let it happen, and then after, you know, bring yourself back. And it's gonna happen a few more times, and then you bring yourself back.
That's the hardest part.
It's the bringing yourself back that's the strength. It's not that that's gonna happen. So it happens to all of us. Even people that have been meditating for a while, they'd be like, yo, after a certain amount of time, I do wander, and I just bring myself back.
How long do you meditate, Mason?
It's different. Like I'm a fan of guided meditation now. So I'll do anywhere from 5 minutes, depending on what my day looks like, to anywhere from 20 minutes, depending on the meditation that I'm doing. So I have like laws of attraction meditation. I've got appreciation, thankful meditations. I've got different types of meditations, and it's apps and stuff like that. But like, I really close my eyes and go into it. I have a space for it. Like, and it's just a chair. It's nothing even extra. It's just a chair.
Okay, Corinne, how long is your meditations usually? Like, what do you suggest for meditating?
It varies. And again, starting out, most people go through the same thing of like, all right, I'm thinking of something else. And most people, because of that, they just like, I'm just going to stop doing it because I can never get deep enough. But it's usually in those moments when anything takes a practice, right? It's the same thing with silencing your mind, because we're just thinking all day long. So you got to get into a habit, especially for you. It sounds like your spirits left the chatter. Give them a moment. You know what I'm saying? All right, we over here at the desk for the afternoon. You got 20 minutes. Tell me what you need. Let me get the notes down. But later, y'all got to get away from me for a little bit, because I got to hear my own intuition. You know what I'm saying? Because I thank you for what you do. And right now, this space is for me right here. I can't hear y'all. But the thing is, it's a habit. So there's different apps you can use. Even if the guided meditations are really helpful, though, I would say, because if you're used to the noise and the chatter, it gives you something specific to work towards, right? Envision this, do these deep breaths. So in case you were used to that, that's a good place to start. Once you get a little bit more advanced into your own meditations, sometimes you may not even need no sound. You know what I'm saying? Some people live in the city. They like, it's too noisy. Baby, these are beautiful sounds. There's certain patterns of sounds in the city that you could use to bring into meditations. The planes, the helicopters, the fucking ambulance. That shit, I go in there and sometimes I'm like, let me pull over because I feel like I'm going to go to sleep. The sounds sometimes sound very fucking therapeutic. Like,
that's me too. That's me too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You got to make it work for you where you are, though.
Yeah.
But in terms of also the gratitude piece, every now and then, every few months, I actually run a 21 days of meditation abundance group. And so that's like Deepak Chopra. He has guided meditations. So, and they're usually anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes of you just, envisioning certain things, but you come out of it and you journal. So especially for those who are getting into it, it's good before you even start meditating, set out with that intention. Like Mason was saying, what are you trying to attain from this meditation right now? Or is it calm? Is it a certain message? Are you trying to set a certain thing to manifest? So it gives you some sort of guide and structure to what you need. And you were mentioning at nighttime, sometimes it's too much. My daughter, what I do with her, we do gratitude nights. Like, prayer is nice, but we set up gratitude. All right, what are we grateful for before we go to sleep? I'm grateful for family. I'm grateful for all right, let's go deeper. You got all your toes that you eat today. And it starts a healthy space of that for your child. So they're not just growing up like, oh, well, I know I deserve these sneakers. Well, no, did you earn it today? Did you, what are you really grateful for what you have before you start asking for something different?
Oh, I love Corinne because she's teaching me something new. Now I'm like, you really I'm grateful for them toes.
Yeah, everything. Let me tell you, everything matters. Just having life. I have a matriarch in my family who's probably at the end of her rope. So it's that constant reminder of like, you got life. You know what I'm saying? Every day you wake up and you are breathing, you should be giving thanks first thing in the morning. I could see, I just opened my eyes this morning. Like, everybody should know from how this pandemic been going. It's a lot of people not making it through of all ages. So if you have anything else you'd be grateful for, is that you woke up and you had another day.
Amen. Give her her flowers. Question number 4. We're only at 4, guys, but it's okay. The rest of this shit is gonna fly, I promise. So, in which ways can soul ties affect us, Mason?
Well, again, we talked about the different kinds of soul ties. We just went through 12 different ones. So, I mean, it affects a lot of different things. It affects your relationships. It affects your work life. It affects the balance that you have in everything. Having those people, like Corinne said, to help you get to your destination, I think that that's also important. Having those connections to people that will elevate your game and bring you to that next level. I think all those things will help you get to your true destiny. I've noticed that there's times in life where I think one thing's my destiny and it ends up being something else, and I get pulled in another direction. And then I've noticed there's things that, no matter how hard I try to get away from it, it just keeps coming back, and I'm reminded, like, this is it. Like, I've tried to get out of music many times. I'm like, all right, I'm making mad money over here. Like, all right, I'm gonna stop going to these industry parties, and somebody will pop up, same people, and they'll be like, hey, like, there's this Def Jam party, it's free, you just gotta show up, just hit me before you get there. And then I'll go. They'll be like, oh, there's this Biggie party in the park, it's free, just hit me before you get there, I'll meet up, I got an extra ticket. And those things just keep coming up, and I'm like,
but what if that's a part of your destiny, Mason? Something.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I have to realize this.
Yeah,
I have to realize this and learn how to
embrace
it and embrace it.
Distinguish the difference and embrace it when it comes.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Because it literally, my whole life, from engineering to all that stuff, and it helps me with what I'm doing now, like engineering and stuff like that I used to do years ago. It comes back into my life. Now I'm doing a podcast, Kori I met years ago, and now we're here doing this. Like, it's all those things that keeps bringing me back into a world that, like, I've stepped away from, because it's like, all right, there's no money here. I enjoy it. I'm at peace when I'm doing it, but how do you sustain a lifestyle with that I'm used to? Not just a regular lifestyle that I'm used to. With something like this, that's like a passion project. It's like, it could be lucrative, but it's all passion. It's all passion. There's not a lot of money in podcasting. There's no money in podcasting, especially when you get started. So, I mean, it's about the passion of seeing this thing grow and pushing it. Because if you look at my entire life, it's literally led up to moments like this.
And I think that your passion will align you with your destiny as well as your journey. That's the difference. It's not about, we do this every week and we don't get paid for this shit. We don't get paid for our time right now. We make reels. We create content. We make shows.
It's a lot.
Pay for this shit. It's a lot, but it's all the passion. It's the passion behind it, and that's what's aligning us with our journey. Because I always tell a story about how Hush Your Mouth started. I did not intend for this to be a podcast. I didn't. People started texting me and hitting me like, "Oh, we love your podcast." I'm like, "It's a podcast." I didn't know it was a podcast. Mason, when we started off with Mason, I don't know if this is a podcast. I didn't think about doing a podcast. I don't know about podcasting. I'm going to start looking at podcasts to see if my shit is a podcast, because what is this? What is this? So, yeah, I don't know. But I am in tune with the message in which Hush Your Mouth brings forth. I am in tune with the whole thing as far as, like, this is a judgment-free zone. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. This is just what it is. We're just all like-minded individuals sharing the same type of motherfucking shit. We on the same journey, but we're trying to figure this shit out together. That's what Hush Your Mouth is about. So, for me, in which ways can soul ties affect us? Before we jump into what Corinne is saying, soul ties can affect us because you may feel connected on a deeper level. For some people, excuse me, I've been drinking, y'all. But for some people, that's like real heavy in itself. Connecting with people on a different level, right? That in itself brings a certain type of energy, effect, and feeling for people that they may not have been open to. They elicit strong reactions from you. Sometimes when you have that soul tie with somebody, they might make you jump out your character a little bit and make you feel uneasy and make you feel like you're not yourself. I'm going to say not yourself. I don't want to use violent words or terms, but for me, it gets a little violent. But
I choose violence.
I choose violence every time. I'm going to process. But they may feel familiar, and familiarity in which they comes, it may make you feel, you know, some type of way. It depends on the familiarity in which they are coming. You might feel like they complete you. When you have a soul tie with someone, you might feel like they complete you. And you know what? That's the first mistake. Because can't nobody complete you the way you can complete you. Nobody should make you feel completeness. Like, no, they might add on to you, but they don't complete you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the danger of it all.
That's a fact.
Your relationship feels unique or one of a kind. Now that's the fuck up. That's where I'll talk about the 3 things in which you had me fucked up. You had me fucked up. Yeah, no. It's not one of a kind because I've had several different soul ties. You know what I'm saying? And because they showed up at a significant time, it might further make you believe that this is it. This is the one. And that's why people confuse soul ties with soulmates all the time. They showed up at the right time, the right place. But no, we just had a soul tie. It wasn't that. All right. Like listening if they are not in your life. Girl, boy, whatever. I don't know. You're not missing. It's nothing missing from your life if they're not in your life. They're a tie. It's not the one. They might not be the one. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's just a tie. You gotta know. And the other last danger that I'm gonna speak on is that it can be one-sided. I'm gonna let Corinne take it away from there because soul ties could be one-sided.
I'm gonna say with it's beautiful for both of you guys in your path because when the soul ties are going to affect who and what you attract, right? Based on your frequencies, right? So Mason, you're saying somebody hit you up with this party. You like, damn, when you are in alignment, the law of least effort, shit starts falling in your lap. You're no longer going out there having to hunt for a dam, hitting the ground running, and you don't feel like you're exhausted because you put in all this work because you're trying to chase something that's already meant for you. It's literally dropping into your lap. That's what alignment looks like. And often though, when you finally are in alignment with what your soul wants to do, it don't feel like something you can make money from. It feels like it's a hobby, right? Like, you know, this is just something I enjoy. However, it ends up being an intersection with all your past experiences, all the things you've learned. Now we're at this fucking crossroads and it's like, oh shit, now everything overlaps and it just makes sense to be where I'm at right here. And you can actually take that to a whole nother level and start monetizing that. We can talk about that a whole nother different time, but I think it's amazing to do that because some people forget like, oh, I don't really want to do that. You know, you just be broke when you do these things. No, spirit is very abundant and fucking giving when you're in alignment with what it wants you to do. You know what I'm saying? When your higher self feels like, yes, this is where we need her to be, things are going to be coming to you out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to have to put in money running and hunting things down. And everybody says it's the hard work. It's the hard work. No, spirit really don't want you to be killing yourself working that hard. They will literally deliver things to you when you are in alignment. So on the flip side of that, though, as you said, with, you know, people dropping things in your lap, the flip side of that is also what people may know as generational curses, where you may feel like, damn, I feel like I've been doing all of this and I'm not getting anywhere. And often it's also some of those darker side of the ties that are keeping you from getting certain places. So in addition to all those things, those 12 things that were listed, you also, I feel like, have racial and national soul ties, by the way. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about post-traumatic slave syndrome, there's a lot of people who are still in that mindset and hindered because a lot of that shit that happened all these years ago, right? That hasn't been released. Your family may still be holding on to a certain way of life. And on the flip side of that, the people who are also running around as the masters and the conquerors, they got issues too that they have to fucking release still. So it's just interesting because these ties can pull you in either direction depending on where you're going to leave this energy, you know, where you're going to let this energy take you into. So that's that.
Okay. Let's jump into our comments before we get into number 5. Mason, take the comments away, starting at okay, so 909 maybe. That was God sending a guardian angel because he knew he was gonna need help. Okay, that's the last thing. Also, you are supposed to listen to your first mind. Your first intuition is actually, what is it saying? I'm sorry. Your first intuition is usually the right option or choice or decision. When you get that inner voice, say, don't walk down the street, that's karma. Is that karma? I think that's just intuition.
It's intuition.
That's your guardian angels guiding you in the right direction. Right. There's been times where I knew not to get into a car. I try to listen to that. When I hear it, when I feel it to be true in my heart and my soul, I try not to play with that. I don't play with my intuition. My intuition is real. I trust it. And that's what people have to do. So lateladies, y'all know we get real deep here on Hush Your Mouth and we talk about a lot of relationships. So your intuition, your intuition is telling you he's cheating on you. Guess what, bitch? He's cheating on you. So just take that and run with it. You don't need proof. You don't need to see. And then
I disagree. Make sure it's true. You're gonna miss out on your blessing thinking it's intuition and you just paranoid because of your past. Because
it could be the
your
past. And also sometimes you shouldn't be taking
your future and your present. Be careful.
And sometimes you shouldn't be taking advice from the solo person who's been in, single their whole life. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be careful of like who you, baby, none of your relationships worked out. Here you are. So there's two sides of that. But I feel like also
that always pisses me off. That always gets to me. It'd be the brokest person that's telling me how to get rich. I'll be like, so how did you do it?
Why,
and it's like, nah, you're broke. You're broke. You should not give me advice on how to make money if you are broke. Like it makes no sense. How you gonna tell me get to my first $1 million? You ain't get to your first 100.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you gotta take that with a grain of salt. I'm not the one to be rude, but I'm the one to be like, you can't really tell me how to do this. And people who say things are easy, those are also like, man, show me how to do it. No, you have no clue. All right. So
that's a fact.
Thank you.
You see that intuition piece, though, I feel like. And again, I hate to keep bringing it back to childhood, but like you got to be careful how you're teaching your child about that, right? There are people you send your child into a house, you like, well, go sit in his lap, go say hi to hug her. Don't do that because you are automatically shutting down that child's judgment of spirit and intuition. Maybe she already know this one is no good. Like I'm not about to go, and I don't care about no family. I don't care about no friend. Do not send your child to go sit in nobody's lap. I'm not, whether it's male or female, do not do it because you're admitted, automatically inhibiting their own sense of intuition. So it's important to honor that for your kids.
Back off that, Karen, because I'm real big on that, especially when I'm not saying that these things don't happen to boys, but I'm saying when I happen to have a daughter, when I was giving birth to my daughter, I became more spiritually inclined. I became more for myself, right? And it's when I decided that. No, I don't like, because in the past, we've all been there. Our parents or family members have forced us, go say hi and go hang out and hug your uncle or your aunt. No, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't feel like I want to talk to that person. I don't feel like I want to like that person. I don't feel like I want to touch that person. And you know what? That type of stuff has to be respected.
It has to.
Sitting here saying, well, that's your aunt and your uncle. I don't know what you was.
No.
I'll leave it there. I don't care. I don't want. So I've always made it a presence in my life to not try to force that on my children. No, she don't want to deal with that. If I listen,
I think kids are very intuitive. So I think 100%. I think kids and animals are very intuitive.
Yeah,
like those.
At my door, you can't come in. You might
you got to pay attention to those little like signs, even before they know how to talk. Like they know good energy. I've always been somebody that kids come to, and I'll be like, nah, this is kind of weird. Like, why? I would go on school trips with my kids. My daughters can tell you this to this day. And the kids would want to hold my hands. I'm like, you don't have to hold my hand. We're in a museum. It's just the 4 of us. Like, it's nice and safe. I believe nothing will happen to you. And if something does, believe you me, my 6'5", 240, I'm right here. Like, there's nothing that you are so safe. You don't have to touch me. You don't have to touch me. So I mean, it's just, but kids know. I think kids have that intuition, and just like they know who to go to, they know who to stay away from, and you gotta respect that, and ask yourself a question: Why is your kid doing that? And animals too. Like I know dogs that are just the calmest of dogs, but certain people they'll just bark at. And it's like, why are you barking at that? But that person has nothing that would make you feel threatened or anything, but that person's energy or something about that person, that dog is barking. So
that's a fact.
And so, meditation is like exercising, and that's good because God is good. He woke you up today. So yes, there's nothing wrong with thanking God. You don't need validation, Mason.
That's right. I don't know what I was talking about, but I don't. Oh yeah. No, yeah. Thank you. No, I know what you're talking about. Right. That's when I was saying that I was thankful, and I wake up every day, and I'm thankful. I'm always thankful. I'm always blessed, and I'll post that sometimes. But yeah, thank you. I do.
You don't have to keep. You have to keep doing it for it to work. Consistency will help you focus over time. Well said, bro. They think that you're saying some good things tonight, Mason. Nice. My tray, I don't know. It can influence you or manipulate you. It can sabotage your relationships in the future. Yes, those soul ties can absolutely sabotage it. Real talk, absolute facts. That's God. That's just talking. That's Jesus talking. Okay, baby dog butterflies are free. I like that name. And that's my first time seeing you here on Hush Your Mouth. So welcome, baby girl. Butterflies are free. I'm a butterfly, so I'm not free though, but welcome to Hush Your Mouth. Alexa, baby, is Jesus talking? Absolutely, but we're in the world right now, and that's another channel. Amen. So now, question number 5. What is the danger of soul ties? What is the danger of soul ties? I mean, we was already kind of talking about that a little bit. Because that's kind of like the same way that soul ties can affect us. So, Corinne, you might want to take that away so we can go to question number 6.
Okay.
Or whatever.
I think for a lot of people, people either put too much weight on it or they don't pay attention to it at all. And when you're oblivious to these things that have affected you, whether it's people or things that have set you up for this lifetime, then you kind of just moving around blindly with like no real focus. Your spirit don't have a real focus for what it's here for. On the flip side, when you have people doing everything to find their soulmate and find their twin flame, I've seen people end up in some dangerous situations. Like you're ending up in some toxic ass relationships because, well, this has to be this person, so I'm going to make it work. And suddenly now you're finding yourself loyal to toxic people to time instead of people's actual actions. And people just become too disconnected when they're chasing it too much. So it's important to have a balance, at least have an understanding so it can direct you, but don't weigh too much heavily on it because you also still have free will in this lifetime. And those contracts you can also still break and buy new ones. So it's important to remember that too.
Amen. I think I agree, but you need to absolutely, the dangers is that you might be second guessing yourself. For me, I think that soul ties can confuse you. The danger is confusion. And when you're in a state of confusion, that's the most dangerous state to ever be in because you don't know whether you're going left or you're going right. So for me, it's just like, I hate to be in a state. For me, I'm a number 8, guys. I don't know. I learned that today. So I'm going to. So apparently, I just hate to be in a state of confusion in any way, shape, or form. The danger is it can lead to Hey, girl. You want to give us some light? Girl, you want to give us some light? Oh, light.
There you go.
Hey, girl, we need the light.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to Hush Your Mouth. Eula, you don't have no name at the bottom, but it's fine. But welcome to Hush Your Mouth.
I didn't put my name. Oh my god.
Oh no, it's there.
Oh, it's there. It's there.
Here, turn your camera to the side. Just turn your camera to the side.
Like this?
Yep, like that.
Okay.
And we love it. You're rising, Ma. You're rising. Dangers of soul ties. Welcome to Hush Your Mouth, Eula.
What are you drinking?
That's not the conversation. The conversation is the dangers.
Got water.
What is the dangers, Eula? Can you hear us?
The dangers, I think the dangers, y entonces, the dangers of soul ties, well, that, my dear friend, you gotta, I don't know. I would say that the dangers would be giving too much of yourself, allowing somebody to come into your life or in your space, and that might be, you might think that you're their soul tie, but maybe they don't think they're your soul tie. So maybe that connection is only one way.
Okay. Corinne, what's the dangers of soul ties? So we can go into number 6.
Oh, you're asking me that? I tapped into that a little bit before she got here. Similar to that, you could just be led too much by the wrong understanding and believing that this is supposed to be something for me. And sometimes it's not. Some people are here in your life for a reason, some for a season. And sometimes you're just hanging on to things a little bit too long. And so you prolong the blessings and the abundance that should be coming into your life because you're focusing your energy on the wrong stuff.
But do you really think that?
I'm sorry. I personally think that the dangers are like when you sit here and you're suffering from depression and anxiety, you're stressed. You was once a bubbly person and now you're no longer a bubbly person. It kind of alters who you are as a person. Those are the dangers. When it changes you and your soul and your journey, it makes it, you know what it is? It's a detour.
Absolutely.
The dangers of a soul tie end up
But
being
is it really a danger? Is it really a danger? Because there's always a lesson in everything that you go through. So is it really a danger?
Well, I think for some people, if you don't see the red flags, then it can become dangerous, and you've allowed this person to take over your life so much that you do become depressed, you do become crippled. But I believe a lot of those things are energy. So you've allowed a lot of this energy now to sink you and pull you down. This is lower chakra vibrational stuff. You've allowed these energies to pull you down to where now you're not receiving things, you're not receiving the guidance from the divine as your spirit probably wants. So it could be a danger in that if you're hanging on to this for too long or in a situation that is causing you either mental or physical harm.
Okay, Mason, did you have much to say?
I mean, for me, we talked about the dangers, and I think what Eula's saying is sometimes it goes over the cliff. So it's always good to see things and know that, hey, this is hot. The stove is hot. But when you keep your hand in there, that's when it becomes a danger because now it's fire. Now your hand's on fire. So it's the understanding of, hey, that's hot. You could learn from danger, but when you're in danger too long, you're over that cliff. So it's good to know that there's a cliff there, but continuing on that path will lead you over the cliff. So I think sometimes you got to know when that person, that soul tie, is taking you to that level, the highest level that they could possibly take you to, and that your time with them is over.
I agree, but even in that sense, I also feel like I'm just gonna speak on my personal experience. Like when I go through things in relationships, whether it's a romantic one, whether it's whatever type of relationship it is, I feel like if you do something that's gonna affect me, okay, probably I'll be sad, but then eventually I'll get over it. But then it's like if I let you take my shine or destroy me as a person, then you've won, and you're never going to win. You can't win. I have to always win. So it's not, to me, I wouldn't really say it's a danger. You just gotta tread lightly and be cautious.
Okay, well, I agree with you. Tread lightly, be cautious. You should tread lightly with everyone, and you should be cautious with everyone. But we're gonna take this to another level. Can soul ties affect men differently than women? No. Can soul ties affect men differently than women?
Yes, I think it affects men differently than women. No, I definitely think it does.
We had a no and we had a yes.
No, because there are some men out here who have bigger vaginas than actual women. Okay,
what does that have to do with? Then you agree it affects men differently than women. We agree.
Well, in a sense, yes. In a sense, yes. In a sense, yes. But people always think like the woman is more emotional compared to the man. But I would say I'm in the middle. I'm 50-50 with this question.
Okay, so Mason, you state your point, and then Corinne, you shut them down.
All right. Listen, as I said, I approach this whole conversation with a learning and an open mentality. So I'm never going to be shut down because I will be learning. So, but anyway, so I think it affects men differently than women. I think situations affect men differently than women. I think there's certain scenarios where like you're in the same exact relationship and I come out more hurt than you, or I come out way more knowledgeable than you, and we're in the same relationships, the same things happen to us, the same environment, the same everything is the same, but the lessons learned is different. So for me, I think that it does affect men differently than women, and men are conditioned to think a certain way, whether it is, you know, having a bigger vagina than women. Some men are conditioned like that. So from the birth, they're conditioned to be that type of person. And then there's some men that are conditioned to be a different type of man. And from birth, they're conditioned to be that type of person. So I think it affects people differently based on a lot of different experiences and past experiences. Going into that experience can affect them differently. Women are different too. I think it depends on the individuals. So same experience, different experience.
I'm going to say you're both wrong. I'm going to say that creating soul ties or having soul ties affects women more indefinitely because we receive.
That's because you are a woman.
No, I'm not biased. You know, I think I'm
yes, you are.
I'm a man trapped inside of a woman's body. In my own opinion, I'm a man.
In reality, you're a woman. Speaking from a woman's perspective.
However, I think that it affects women more than it does affect a man. Because one, a man always leads with his intentions. So when he's dealing with a woman, he's leading with his intentions. Yes, I'm saying it. Corinna's like, wait a minute, I'm gonna explain.
Maybe your mouth is gonna be hushed.
Well,
I'm listening though. I'm listening.
I'm gonna say so. I'm gonna say he leads with his intentions within himself. So he knows when he's going to sleep with the woman, which we already said that sexual soul ties are created from that. That's the most like common factor in which soul ties have, right? So men, they know when they're sleeping with a woman, whether or not they're going to wife her, when they're going to just play with her, or whatever the case is. They know that it's serious. They do. And so now moving forward, a woman, you're the one receiving that energy. So, and a woman, when she's going out to sleep with a man, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, she's sleeping with that person because she wants it to become something more. She believes that it can be something greater. Not those sound facts.
Honey, I have to disagree. Sometimes you just got to get it out, honey. Sometimes it's not about where we're gonna take this. You know, sometimes you just got to get it out. You know,
well, that's what's creating soul ties.
What are you getting out though? What are you getting out there? The energy. That's what we're calling. Just went to the left.
I mean, it's a few. I can see where everybody's coming from. I'm gonna say that I can see where everybody's coming from because everybody's coming from a different perspective here. But I feel like soul ties, when you talk about these lineup of people, both men and women can have these exact same lineup of women. As Mason said, though, with your upbringing, let's look at it from a societal point of view. How are you raising men in this country, right? You're a child. Don't cry, little boy. Immediately, boys are stripped from that emotion, that intuition side. This is a spiritual topic. Majority of my women are female, and that's for a reason, because we've shut down that side of men in this country, and we don't allow them to explore that. When you do, suddenly now you gay. Oh, wow, you understand your emotions. Mason, you going to get your nails done. A lot of guys still believe, nah, that's, you know, your mind is not spiritually there. And so to really understand these soul contracts, your mind already has to be at a certain level of understanding for how these soul ties actually affect you. And most men in this country are not there. Again, that's something societal and cultural. But then you go look at Caribbean men, perhaps that's something different. When you look at all these ancient societies that still have these practices intact, Asians, Indians, they have their men at the top of the totem pole. You know what I'm saying? Certain religious, Muslims, your men are leading the pack. So in that sense, I think those men and those lifestyles are actually affected a little bit more by those soul ties because you have another understanding of it. Right? When you look at the women who are here, however, a lot of us are led by these things. Everybody's chasing a soulmate. Everybody's chasing a twin flame. How many times you hear a man say that? I haven't heard it a single time. I've never heard it a single time. And again, I want to say something like 95 of my clients are female. Why? A lot more of us are in tune into our emotions, and a lot more of us are trying to make sense of this because we've been trained and developed to care more about emotions and to just think and process things differently. So we still do have these same connections. We are just processing them totally different though. And it takes a lot of maturity for a lot of men to be at a place where they're ready to realize how these things have actually affected their life.
Give her flowers. Okay, so what are the symptoms of soul ties, and how do we go about breaking them? Let's do that. So, Mason, from what you've learned and what you've gathered here today, what are the symptoms of soul ties?
What are symptoms of soul ties? It varies. I think it varies. I think the understanding is what's key. I think the symptoms vary depending on where you're at in life and your journey. So I think that always looking for a right or wrong answer probably wouldn't work for me in this scenario. It's more along the lines of who you are and how it applies to you.
And how it makes you feel.
Yes, how it applies to you, how it makes you feel. I think that's what the soul ties, what I've learned in this conversation, that soul ties are. I think there's a lot of spirituality, and I wrote down a few things that I wanted to delve deeper into, soul contracts and stuff like that. But I'll do my own independent learning, and
I can help you.
Come back and definitely.
And
ask those questions. But I that's how I learn. I learn by asking questions and gaining answers and being curious.
Okay, Eula, how do you feel? Like, what do you feel like the symptoms may be? Like, how would you be able to distinguish a soul tie, and how would you break a soul tie personally?
I think I would. I think I agree with what Mason said. It just depends on where you are in life. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer.
No, there's not. There's not. There's never a right or wrong answer here on Hush Your Mouth. There's not. I know y'all think that this is what that is, but it's not. I promise you. Okay. Well, for me,
what do you think? What do you think, Kori?
What do I think is of the symptoms is when you don't feel like yourself. When everything in you doesn't feel right, when your world feels shaken up, you need to start to dive a little bit deeper. When you start to feel like, for instance, I never thought I was a depressed person, even when I was in depressing situations. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't make sense. I was in a depressing situation. I didn't feel depression, but I feel like I'm way further ahead in life. And now I suffer with depression. I need to go and figure out who the fuck I was sleeping with and where that soul tie was created and how that has affected me in order to be
It wasn't side panel. It wasn't side panel. It was somebody
panel.
Before that.
Before side panel. She's got.
You need to cleanse yourself of the past before side panel.
Purge. And you know what? Royal Roots Company is going to help me do that. However, right now where I'm at, right now I'm going through the whole motion of being able to distinguish, well, what has changed in the past 5 to 7 years? What has changed? What am I feeling differently? What traumas and things have I gotten over? Where were the soul ties created? And how do we need to cut those cords? You understand what I'm saying? And that's the place and space I'm in. I got all these extra things now. The personality thing, I always have those things. I never even fucking acknowledged those things until now. And that's a step of growth. However, but that anxiety, that depression, all of those things that I never claimed before, that I never felt like I had no experience with, that came from a soul tie. And I know that. And now,
shout out to your growth. Shout out to your growth.
But the crazy thing about growth is that even in the experience and what you're experiencing soul ties, God will send you a soul partner or a past lifetime soul connection and tie and stuff like that. And those people will be able to help you bring all of that to the forefront and say, we need to do the work. There's work here and it needs to be done. And that's what you would do. So, Corinne, I'm going to let you take the floor in that and take us home. Symptoms of soul ties. How do we break them? What do they look like?
Okay, so like I said, from those 12 soul ties that were listed, you can look at it from, the more negative side. And often the symptoms of those negative ones, these look like lessons and patterns that we need to like get over. You know what I'm saying? This looks like attracting the same type of person into your life. This looks like, dang, I'm trying to save money and my account is always, broken. My account is always in a negative. These are the symptoms of it. You're finding yourself constantly back in the same place and not feeling like you're making any growth. So that side will tell you, okay, maybe I need to look at it. If it's not me, I'm doing all my best here and this physical realm to make something work and I'm not getting anywhere. It's got to be some other ties from something else. Same thing with the emotions you're feeling, the depression, the anxiety. That's not yours. All right, so let's look at where that actually even came from so we can send that shit back home. Reverse that thing, send it right on. And then on a positive side, these are things that look like confirmations of your alignment to where you are heading that is beneficial for you. A lot of people are disconnected from it, so they won't feel the physical, reactions to their body. But it goes back to how you're feeling. Are you getting the chills when this person is talking to you? Are you getting, the self-talk? Are you hearing that little voice in your head saying, yes, keep going? Or is it like, get the hell out of here? Are you listening to these things? So when you're tapped in and in full alignment, you'll be able to figure out the symptoms of, is this something I need to release and work on? Or do I need to continue headed on this path because my higher self is telling me this is beautiful? In terms of how you break and release these cords, there's so many ways to do it. When you talk about Akashic records, which we haven't, right? This is like a map of your soul. This is everything your soul has done from this time, from the time before. And so when people think of karma, they like, damn, I'm locked into this. I have no choice. That's a lie. You can cross some of that stuff right out and put it in with some brand new things that you would actually like to actually see for yourself. So that can be done through different types of energy work. Most people are familiar with Reiki, right? You can look at doing actual cord cutting. This is using certain candles. This is using certain crystals to help break you from these things. It can look like a declaration statement. If you feel like you are tied to something negatively that is holding you back, times like the full moon is excellent for a release. Do a bath, you know what I'm saying? Release it into the water. As it's going down into the drain, you're imagining the attachment to these things going down into the drain. You can write a letter, you know what I'm saying? You feel like you are tied to something that's keeping you back. Write a fucking letter to a person or place or thing and burn that shit and watch.
I'm sorry. I have to interrupt you because I didn't know that I was cutting soul ties. I spoke about this with Side Panel earlier, and I was telling her that the way that I've cut a lot of the things that I've had connections to and soul ties to is that I write every ex, I wrote you a letter. Nigga, just know I wrote you a letter. I sent that shit right back to you. I was telling you all the things and how you made me feel, and I was like, but you know what? You need this on your journey. And I send that back to you. And that is it. So you need to
so critical.
Yeah.
It's so critical to do that and really getting out those full emotions on this piece of paper. People think it's something small. If you feel like you did it and you still tight at this person or still feel away, baby, you still got the cord there. But if you were able to truly get all your emotions and your feeling on this paper, bitch, you did this to me, motherfucker, go into detail, shit that really affected you. And when it's time, burn the shit and literally watch it. Don't do it in the house, please. Nobody burn their house down. Go outside, you know what I'm saying? So you can watch that smoke go up into the heavens and know that your emotions and how you're feeling is being taken right up there, never to return again. All right, we banished that shit, never to return again. But I always tell people after you do that, you want to also replenish back with something that you want instead. So now you just cut this, and now you just kind of like open, and there's a whole like an open space there. What are you going to replenish that with, right? So that may look like I want unconditional love instead. I need healthy boundaries. I need more money. You fill it back in with what you want after you cut that cord, but it has to be a serious declaration if you're ready to truly release it.
Absolutely. Let's jump into the comments before we head out. I want to thank everybody for being here today. I want to thank the viewers. I want to thank the listeners. I want to thank the people who joined us.
And don't forget the side panel. Don't forget the side panels.
Oh, side panel. Shout out to side panel. One time for side panel. Hold on, side panel. We're still shouting out side panel.
Okay. All right.
I think Hilo was saying something.
I said, yes, shout out to the side panels, because today I definitely have a side panel. One of my good friends. He's camera shy. He doesn't want to be on camera, but he has some good points. And I was trying to, but somebody muted me. I don't know if you guys could mute me.
We can mute you.
Yes.
Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy.
So,
No, you're not rising, mama. You're not rising.
She said sunset.
Sunset.
Let's jump into these comments right here. We appreciate your side panel. We want him to DM us. We also want him to tune in and subscribe to Hush Your Mouth. I mean,
he actually has a podcast as well, right?
That's
yeah.
Very nice.
That's great.
So, can he say it in like he's got like 1 minute to make his point?
No, he got 20 seconds.
Oh, 20 seconds. Because
Would you like to add anything? Are you sure? Mm-hmm. Okay, he's shy. Now he's shy. See?
All right.
No spelling.
Okay, so it can influence or manipulate you. It can sabotage your relationships for the future. The season for healing. Yes, that's true. Never make your children do something they don't want to do. Absolutely. Generational curses must be broken. Yes, I agree. It's generational curses. I guarded my daughter. She went to no one's house and was around no man but her dad. Absolutely. You can take the negative traits of the person that your soul is tied to and carry their offenses, whether or not you actually agree with them. Absolutely. You can. People need to know how real deep these soul ties are. They're deep.
Yeah.
You gotta watch females too. Protect your child's innocence. Hey Eula. My validation comes from God. Thank you. Mentally, it destroys you. Walking your truth. Mentally, it destroys you. Absolutely. Yes, it does. Depends on the spiritual experience of that being. That not necessarily so, Kori. I guess that's when I was talking my shit about what I said when I said that. All right. I love that. Soul ties affect both men and women, but different hormones are released during sex. That sounds deep too. I love that your mind is not mentally there. It absolutely does. Yes, I agree. Woo, preach, never. I'm tremendous. I'm loving
Girl,
this.
slow down so we can keep up on the screen. Never.
I'm trying to run through this. I'm loving this tremendously. Or almost very few men would say they're looking for soulmates. Yes, very.
I get killed on this show every week. So
you looking for a soulmate? Come out clean right now.
Yeah, we talk about this every week when I say that I'm not trying to smash everybody because I'm not trying to give up dick every week.
So the real thing that you should say, Mason, is that I'm not trying to give up dick every week because I'm looking for a soulmate.
Wow. I'm not trying to dig down every girl that's gonna give me some pussy.
But that's amazing.
I don't want that connection.
That's amazing though. I appreciate that. I respect that. I absolutely respect that.
It all depends on who's our panelist. Because last Tuesday, they was not respecting me at all.
I respect that.
They called me selfish.
He shouldn't want a soulmate. He should want a twin flame, a divine partner, a person that is set aside just for him.
I'm gonna take one step at a time. So I'm gonna go with soulmate.
Not no twin flame. I won't wish no twin flame on you. I'm gonna say that real bad. I won't wish it on you. Because those are intense. Those are intense.
Well, past connection, a past soul connection. Those are deep.
Yeah, those are deep. Those are really deep. I will say that. I wish that for you for sure.
Okay, emotional, physical, and spiritual. We're supposed to ask questions. That's how you learn, kiddos. Kudos, Mason. Good stuff. Yes, oh my God. You need to get rid of things that are related to the bond. And forgiveness is the most powerful way to free it.
That's a big one. That's a big one. That's definitely a big one.
That's a big one.
Can I say something?
That's so true. That is how we manifest. This segment was everything. You got to be honest with yourself and take action. You got to be ready to move on and break that connection and leave that unhealthy soul tie behind. And that is how we are ending Hush Your Freaking Mouth tonight. You need to leave those soul ties behind you. You need to leave anything that is toxic behind you. You need to leave anything that doesn't make you feel great. Corinne, take us away in this segment. Let's go. I'm going to tell y'all where y'all can find me at ahead of time. Y'all can find me at lemon_squeeze3 on Instagram. You can find me here on
Slow down, Speedy. Slow down.
She is moving.
I gotta go.
Pace
I
yourself.
gotta go.
I gotta use the bathroom. But
Oh, jeez.
you can find me here on Hush Your Mouth Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8:15. We say 8 o'clock so you can get share it with your cousin, share it with your grandma, share it with your uncle. We want everybody here on Hush Your Mouth. And yeah, Corinne, take it away, and then Mason, you can take it away, and then you take it away.
This was so beautiful. Thank you for this conversation tonight, because this was everything. I hope this was helpful and informative for everybody. You can catch me on my business page on Instagram, Royal Roots Co. That's Royal_Roots_Co, where you can either get spiritual coaching and a lot more of this stuff, or you can either find products and things that can help you break these soul ties and get over shit. Okay, so holla at me if you need help. Even if you want somebody to talk to, I am here. Thank you for listening tonight.
And
Soul contracts. I'm getting in touch with you.
I want that. I want that little cord cutting knife.
The cord cutting knife. I got you.
It was made out of crystals.
Selenite. Yes, baby. Mm-hmm.
That might be dangerous for you. That might be dangerous for you, Kori. Okay, Kori. I don't know. You are not. I don't know.
No sharp objects. Eula, where can they find you?
Elusive E. I'm gonna come clean, like I always say. I don't know how many underscores I have, but just type elusive and the most popping one. That's me. Okay. Period.
As always, you can find me on Instagram at YNVS_ it's Mason. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe to our YouTube channel. YouTube, Hush Your Mouth, you'll find us. Facebook and our Instagram, which is scrolling underneath down there. So, yep, that's it. Wrap us up.
Thank you guys tonight for joining us here on another live and direct episode of Hush Your Mouth. Until next time, speak out or hush your fucking mouth.